Okay, second trumpets. Wow, your part is not all that difficult. You're not going to need to practice this stuff very much. What you're really going to need to do is focus on where your notes are landing and following the beat and where you're supposed to be. Okay, this is one of those where I really need to focus and come in on where I'm supposed to come in on. Now, in the video, I said not to worry too much about counting time signature in the beginning here because it's nice, slow, and fluid. However, I mean, you do need to know where you come in, you know, audiating the melody and figuring out where your part comes. But however, you come in the middle of something with just two notes, you are going to need to be counting. Okay, so, you know, and you'll see that 4/4 for a little while in measure 3, then measure 7 will be kind of obvious. And then you'll see the 3/4 up, here I come, get ready. There's one more 4/4 in measure 9, and then measure 10, I come in. Breathe, play. Okay, cool. So measure 10, measure 11, you know. So exciting. Okay, and then 3/4 26, you know, you've got a lip slur, dee-ya-da-dum. Dee-ya-da-dum. That lip slur between the partials, pretty easy. Measure 29. We talked about this rhythm, dotted quarter note, eighth note tied to a quarter note, which is the same value as a dotted quarter note. So you have that dee-dum-dum. It's almost an accented sound to it, just slightly. Okay, so let's try playing that. Measure 23, let's try playing that through that together. 1, ready, and. And carry all the way to 26, downbeat of 26. Da-dum. Right? And then 27. 1, ready. And then release on 34. Dum, dum. 1, 2, 3, ah. Very important we release on the downbeat of that next measure. Okay, in measure 47, 48, 49, and 50, you and the first trumpets have this part where you come on the downbeat. You have a dotted half note. D, 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 and you have that crescendo. What's happening with the rest of the band is they have a rest, quarter rest on your downbeat of 47, 48, 49, 50. Each downbeat, they have a quarter rest, and then they have 2 eighth notes and a quarter note. So you have this doom, dee da dum bum, 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 ba da dum in the first trumpet, and some of the other parts go ya da dum at 51. They take that rhythm that was on 2 and 3 in 47, and in 48, and in 49, and in 50. They take that rhythm, and the composer, Brian Balmages, he puts it on beat 1 of 51 as kind of that landing point for that rhythm. It's really cool, really neat composition. Good way of writing a building section in the music, which this is. So what I need from you is on each of those downbeats to be super solid. Dee, dum, bum. And then right in there on 51. Okay, 58, measure 58. That G sharp is 2 and 3. You can also think of it as an A flat. Here's an A. A flat's going to be just a little lower with a bit of a longer tube on that, right? A little longer slide on the 2 and 3, which is why it drops it down a half step. G sharp, A flat, enharmonics. If you don't know what enharmonics are yet, don't worry, we will review that again. Okay, so G sharp. So in 50, it's 2 and 3. You can write that in, 2 and 3. So we get a little more playing in together. Let's take 43 through the end. 1, ready. Watch that retardando coming into 63, 64, R-I-T, rit dot. That's retardando. And we'll talk more about some of the stuff maybe in a different video. 65. So you want that dotted half note tied to the other dotted half note. You want to take that and follow it through all the way to 65. So you're really going to have to watch me for that down because I'm going to be slowing down quite a bit. And my technique in conducting and leading a band is to take a retardando if it's going slow enough and I have long enough to do it. I'll go slower in measures right before measure 67 where there's tempo 1, quarter note equals 60. That's where we have our new tempo. I'll even slow it down just a little bit more and then it'll be just a little bit slightly faster at 67. So I like to really slow down to pull at those heartstrings and then open up into our tempo at 67, right? Which then kind of just opens that melody back up. So, all right, so a lot of more videos to come and just stay on top of these. My goal is to have this wrapped up in 4 to 5 weeks. Have all the recordings in, video done. I may be too ambitious. Maybe we won't get there, but this isn't hard stuff. So as long as you're working on your parts and doing due diligence, make sure you're practicing your instrument a lot more than just on this piece. This is boring to practice. This is like just look over it. Make sure you have it down, and that you know where the problem areas are that you've written in those G sharps 2 and 3. On those G sharps, can we look at 57 real quick? Each half step down from that A, right, in 57 to 58, half step down to the G sharp. That'll help you get that where that G sharp is supposed to be in measure 50. 57. Get to know that note, be familiar with it. Your lips will remember it if you spend enough time with it so that you're not all wonky on some different partial, which would sound not good. Okay. So, practice other music. Spend time with your horn so that your embouchure is strengthening, you're developing good lung capacity, and then we'll be ready to play some more intense music that'll take more of your time that you'll enjoy spending more time with. Okay? All right, I will see you in the next video.